So here in Oceanside, we had 5 main programs that were created to help learners feel comfortable with writing various types of styles. So we had, and these were the programs that were run by our fabulous volunteer tutors. So we had 2 that had to do with playing with words and poetry. So the first was just get comfortable with language. The second was poetry, and in that workshop, they crafted a poem that if they chose, they could put in the anthology. The third was specifically about writing one story, so writing a memoir. And the fourth was about letter writing. That was a neat one because it had, they would write cards and then could send them on to people. And then the fifth was about art and writing. So it was pairing a poem with something artistic. So those were our main workshops. We did 1 per month from February till May, and then we had 2 in the final month in May. We also had 2 tutor lunches in that time frame. And so the first one, which was in February, I spent about 45 minutes talking about the anthology. We actually practiced some writing. I gave them the templates to look at, and I very strongly encouraged our volunteers in that tutor workshop or tutor lunch to bring this idea back to their learners and get started crafting something during their sessions. And then in the May workshop, we actually did a poem together. So I showed this is how we can write a group poem, because we have a couple of conversation groups that meet weekly, and I wanted them to have the opportunity to be a part of the anthology. So those are the distinct programs created to encourage some writing and help people feel comfortable. And then in addition to that, I made a bunch of templates, both for telling stories as well as writing one's own narrative. There was a template specifically for writing your memoir, which I worked together with the tutor to make that one. So we had a table throughout the past 6 months with materials, there were books, all of these templates and invitations to the workshops to get people excited about this anthology.
Yeah, in Solano County, when we launched our writing challenge, we also had scheduled a couple workshops to go along with that. And a month in, we had our first workshop, which is just how to get started, how to start a writing project. And we had different templates available. We had different activities. We invited tutors and students to come together so that tutors could support the student and learn the same things that the learner would be learning to at the workshop. And then a month after that, the second workshop was about refining, adding details, adding interest to the writing that they got started doing. And so with those 2, then they had a few months later to add and change and edit the writing that they started.
So at Sonoma County Library, we've found that a lot of programs kind of naturally grew into our anthologies program. I didn't realize it, but the annual celebration of the existing anthology becomes the natural promotion for the next anthology. So although it isn't a program I created, that's the effect when we celebrate these anthologies and invite everybody in our program. Anybody who might have joined midway and missed the opportunity wants to participate in the next one. And that also has to go with distribution. If you make sure that all of your learners and tutors are receiving your anthology, the feedback is, hey, I want to do this next time the opportunity comes around. So they become sort of natural starting points and programs. I will say two of the funnest programs that we did recently were inviting 2 authors who are favorites in our literacy collection, favorites of our learners, to come and do writing workshops. And one of them did his workshop virtually for us, and we had a lot of attendance. It was a wonderful experience. We opened it up to the general public as well as our program learners and tutors. And he talked about writing his own stories and the value of writing stories. It was a wonderful program to just encourage submissions and sharing of your own story. And he just talked about his own inspiration and the value of that. And then we were able to bring another really popular collection author to our central library in downtown Santa Rosa. And she did a 3-hour workshop. It was open again to the public, but we invited our program learners first because there was limited seating. And just did a wonderful workshop on writing your own story. Our theme that year was about immigration. So it was about bringing your home with you, but wonderful workshops from people that our learners had already told us that they really were inspired to read their stories and touched by them, and then to be able to learn from them. So if you ever get the opportunity to do something like that within your own collection, seize it.